In my apartment, I have a bunch of nonstick cookware, most of which I don't even get to use. It's even more frustrating with most of these pots and pans that I own that have specific uses. For whatever technique I want to use, I don't get that because of the organization of my cabinet. I think it's organized, and when I'm ready for that technique to cook with, I pull it out in a Tornado Rex loose, and I end up ordering takeout. So it turns out to be really expensive because I'm not even using most of those pots and pans. It all changed though. I invested in a cast iron skillet. An article on globalnews.ca on August 12, 2020 states that stocking up kitchen utensils and items is easy, and it's even easier to dispose of them and replace them. It's a different story though when it comes to pots and pans, because sure, you might be able to get the job done right, but overall, you might be dissatisfied and ending up having an unwanted expense down the line. So today, I wanted to talk to you about getting rid of the nonstick cookware and replacing it with a cast iron skillet. I will do that by first talking about the problems, second, the causes, and third, the solutions. First, nonstick cookware does not have a long longevity rate. An article on TakeBackYourTable.com on February 25th, 2020 states that the average lifespan of nonstick cookware is 5 years or less. The pots and pans over time, when you cook with them, end up getting warped and leave you dissatisfied in the dish that you're trying to present. As well, when you're cooking with these pots and pans, the base of them can end up eroding and you might get unwanted particles in your stomach causing pains and aches. An article on sustain.kitchen.com on July 8, 2020 states that nonstick cookware is a waste of your time, your effort, your money, and it's unsafe to use. And most companies ignore the toxicity levels that are in the coating of the pans, which is dangerous. Now that I have talked about the problems of why the nonstick cookware does not last that long, second, what is exactly causing the nonstick cookware to fade away so fast? We end up go through a bunch of nonstick cookware for multiple reasons. Nonstick cookware erodes fast over time, and the enamel ends up eroding even more. So there's a lack of proper use of the cooking utensils. An article on timesofindia.com on September 11, 2020 states that most people tend to cook with stainless steel products and cooking utensils, and we have to be careful because it's dangerous in the sense that it's an alloy, and what an alloy is a mixture of metals, and it can be harmful to humans and also easily scratch your pots and pans. Now that I ended up talking about why those pots and pans fade away so fast, finally, there's some good news. I have a solution to where you don't have to waste your money on those pots and pans and invest in something that's so much better. There's a solution in not wasting a bunch of money. And an article on thekitchen.com on August 9th, 2016 states a bunch of the positives that we can adapt to while getting a cast iron skillet. It is versatile in the sense that it can flambe, it can saute, it can bake, it can fry, and much, much more. It's also versatile in the sense that when you start off on the stove and cook, you can then take it to the campfire and cook there, and then come back and even put it in the oven. And the more that you cook with the cast iron skillet, the better that it's going to work for you and the better that it's going to taste. It tends to end up lasting forever. Virtually, iron is indestructible. And since iron is indestructible, that means that you can see it in antique shops, and they have stories to where it's dated more than 75 years old. That means you can also pass it on to your future generations. And when you pass it on to your future generations, there could be a supply and demand shortage. When we have a population growth and we make so much nonstick cookware and have to replace that. Investing in a cast iron skillet should be something that we need to do, because something goes on back order or drop ship from a manufacturer. Everybody wants it, but they can't get it. But when you have that cast iron skillet, you're going to be happy that you did that. Today, I wanted to convince you to drop all the non-stick cookware and invest in a cast iron skillet. I did that today by first talking about the problems, second, the causes, and third, the solutions. If you end up investing in cast iron skillet, then you won't have to worry about spending so much money on non-stick cookware that eventually erodes so fast and you have to replace.